took a little break and stepped out there for a minute. Man, it's chilly as all get out there. Winter is coming, man. It's chilly in here, is why I'm wearing this big heavy coat, but it's not too bad. It's tolerable. Ah, babies. So we're talking about the expansion of trucking. And baby, it does expand your horizons, because you go into some of the sleaziest areas of life when you're trucking, and some of the best. You know, it's such a varied occupation. When you just haul freight, you just never know where you're going to end up, or who you're going to be with, and how you're going to be doing it, whatever it is. Situations change rapidly. You know, you could be sitting there driving along one minute, content as all get out. The next minute, you just blowing a steering tire, going pert near 100 miles an hour, and you got to live to tell about it. And you better have good angels. And they better be riding with you every millisecond. Because your life's right there on the edge right now. Not just yours, but others too. And you got a vehicle that's essentially out of control, and you got to contain it. Bring it back to life. You got to make it through that blizzard that you can't see 3 feet in front of yourself and not hurting anyone doing it. Get to a safe place where you can hole up, if the company will let you. Maybe that your freight is so hot, so wanted, that you've got to just keep on going. And you take the risk. And you do it. And not just for money's sake, but because you know you can. Mostly, I'd try to take the easy way out, but I didn't always get it. It's pretty rough out there at times, and Mother Nature can be wild and make you feel as tiny as a flea on a tick's back. I'm telling you, I've been through some floods like you wouldn't believe. I mean, it's beyond description, the power of nature when she really gets out of control and starts dumping that water down. You know, let alone the winds that go with it. And the snows, oh my God, they can get so deep, you know. And a person could easily freeze to death out there. I mean, there's just a million ways to die, and only one way to live, and that's steady. And keeping going, keeping moving. But using your internal wisdom to let you know when it's time to stop, to let go. And paying the price when you don't listen. One time went down the Feather River Canyon, because I knew that it was just raining over there. My goodness, it was coming down in buckets. And that old Feather River was up there 200 feet deep and just a roaring down the canyon within inches of the road. You didn't know if it was going to wash it away. There was a couple of places where mudslides had come down, and they'd have to use a caterpillar to push you on around if you got mired down in it. I mean, they pushed it out as best they could, try to keep the road open, because it's a major artery. It's got to be, I mean, you know, when the pass is closed, Donner Pass is closed, Feather River's the only way in and out of that into California. So they got to keep that road open, even back then. It's just a twisty, turny little two-lane thing. You could feel the thunder of that river coming up through the truck into the seat of your pants, baby. Let me tell you. It was one of the hairiest feelings I've ever been through in my life. But then here I am riding out earthquakes down in California. I rode out a few in my younger days too in Utah. Those things happen. You know, and not to mention the traffic, the hazards, the inept drivers that create hazards, and you know, and boy, you've got to be on your toes. The plus side, man, you learn and grow. You meet a lot of people, and back in those days, it was a lot easier to have an intimate conversation with somebody you'd never met before and probably never would see again as long as you lived. You know, that happened a lot in these truck stops and diners and cafes. scattered around America. You'd just sit down for a cup of coffee and you'd start chatting with a stranger about the weather. And the next thing you know, you're talking about the dawn of paradise and things, how things could be better, and where you've been in your life and what you've done and what it's cost you and things like that. You know? And it gets to be a round table. There gets to be a dozen or so people. It just happens wherever you go. And then you get stuck someplace, waiting for freight, trucks broke down, whatever, snowed in. Ooh, I love that. And you get people to partying, you know? And while the snow blows and howls around outside, man, you got the people inside all warmed up and just having a great time and opening their heart. It was an amazing time of being. And America was an amazing place to be at, let alone the land that you traveled through. Oh my God. This country is just awash with beauty and high energy and just great places to be. It really is. And I'm sorry that it's also such a shithole and it's become the dominant force in the world and likes to push other people around these days. That's not our nature, really. You know, we're not like that. That's our frickin' government all out of control, but that's what this expansion we're doing now. Which is just as hairy as anything you could do in trucking. That's what this expansion of now is all about. You know how I went from one level of living to another to another? That's essentially what we're doing here. We're just stepping up another level or two in life, expanding our consciousness to include our place in the intergalactic reality, so that we know our place and can remember who we are. In a lot of ways, life is going to continue to be what it is. In a lot of ways, it'll never be the same again. I mean, it's not the same now as it was a moment ago anyway. But I'm talking about some fundamental and basic changes that will just lift us off and move us that much closer to the paradise in which we truly live. That's the funny thing about all this adventure of living and all that you can go through here and all the interpersonal relationships you can develop. It's the darndest thing. It all leads back to the same place. And we're going there together. Ain't any of us getting left behind. Nobody. We've come to jerk the devil up by his coattails, or hers as the case may be, and bring him back to the reality, baby, you know? I mean, yeah, I'm speaking in metaphors now, yes. We're raising the darkness into the light, but guess what? We had to go through the darkness in order to find our light, to fully appreciate and understand every dynamic and aspect of it, and how noble it could become in the lowest of moments and the most trying of situations. Spirits and hearts are torn apart by their experiences here on this earth as human beings and animals, and trees and birds sometimes too, but especially the human occupation here. We pay, and we pay plenty, but we are rewarded tremendously. And that's the other side of this expansion we're moving into, is the reward. It's our turn. We've suffered long enough. And when you begin to see yourself as you truthfully are, and you understand once again the noble nature of your heart, and why it's allowed so much of this darkness to be and to overwhelm itself within it. When it begins to see that, baby, we are free of it. It comes with us. We leave no thing behind, no one, no person. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of dividing away as we gather together, because different tribes move different ways. But all roads lead to Rome, so to speak. You understand? So all of these paths coalesce in the very near future and bring forth the most beautiful fruit that's ever been seen, that's ever been harvested, that's ever been known. And we human beings have done this. Walk through it as human beings, even when we know inside we're gods and goddesses. And the goddess is all-powerful here. And it is she who understands us so deeply that she would allow us to go through all this muck. Her heart suffers tremendously right along with us, with each and every one of us, even the little sparrow that falls from the tree. Everybody and everything. She's with us in every moment because she understands who we are, a part of her, straight from the mother's womb and the father's heart. That's us, babies. Now this expansion, like I say, is about ready to take a radical turn. It's kind of like, well, we had our moonshot, now let's go to Alpha Centauri and see what kind of planets are hanging out over there. It's that big a leap. But yet, in comparison to what the rest of the universe is, it's not very much at all. It's an inch, a half an inch, a quarter inch, I don't know, but it's not very much. Yet it's a huge leap for you because you haven't known anything beyond the moon, you know? So that's the comparison I would make to what's happening here now. We're like taking that big a leap. Though, like I say, life will continue to be somewhat every day. We still have to function here. But a lot of those functions will be redefined and reformed rather quickly as a part of this process of expansion. We're taking a step out into countries unknown. Nobody's ever done this before. I don't care what the liars and fakers tell you. Nobody's ever done this before. Not in the sense of a timeline. Not like we're doing it now. That's why there's so much excitement built up around it. And why there's so many energies and forces and beings hanging around the earth now that wouldn't normally be here. It's an exciting time to be. And that's the trick. That's the secret. You just sit down in your seat. You take hold of that wheel. You know inside yourself you're capable. And you start to shift those gears. You release those brakes and roll out of the parking lot and get your ass on down the highway. Just be. Just do what comes natural to you. Just like shifting gears comes natural to this old man. Do what comes natural to you. Follow your heart. Yeah, you're going to make sudden career changes. Why wouldn't you? No point in sitting around and waiting for it to happen. Just get out there and do it, babies. Inside yourself. But let your heart guide you. It's getting stronger and stronger now. Listen to what it has to say. And you'll be guided all the way. And you won't need any gurus, teachers, friends or helpers even to get you along. Though you have a lot of that anyway, because hell yeah, we're in it together. We got to do this. That's who and what we are. Human beings are the most together beings in the universe. Only we haven't remembered that yet. But we're about to. Hang on to your green jeans, kiddos. Because what's coming is wild. Love you, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Grandpa Coyote, Crestone, Colorado, wherever the hell that is.